Okay, here we are again with another best of three coming from the Goblin Cluckfest 5 that was just this weekend. And our first competitor here is you, the blue Celestial, and going for the Fast Expo on this middle top base. And use opponent will be Wallace in the Red Infernal. And both of these are both highly ranked players on the leaderboard, and both of them are also kind of common mainstays in the tournament scene. So I've seen a lot of them play a lot of different tournament games, and both of them have actually done quite well. I think you I've seen getting a little bit further than Wallace, but both of them managing to win games in series. So hopefully this will be a fun best of three. And the scout, Hexen, has returned home from her visit to Celestial Land, and we are getting a first creation chamber out while we're doing a little bit of Sovereign's Watch creeping, and the now kind of standard meta of creeping the speed camp kind of from the high ground here, using a farm this case, not always needing a farm, but and well, managing to creep this camp always way better than I am. The pros seem to, my units are always getting caught and surrounded, and my fiends are dying to the charge attack and things like that. But when I watch these pro games, they're always really good at keeping all their fiends alive and managing to focus the Shadow Massive that has the infest debuff on it. Lots of better control than I have for sure. And creeping this vision camp, still managing to keep units alive. Oh, I say that and the fiend goes down. So, you know, it's supposedly very embarrassing to lose units when you're creeping well. I used to do it a lot in Warcraft 3, and I continue with that pattern in Stormgate. Okay, we get a split on all of those fiends, or on all those brutes. The fiends trying to get us around on the Argents, but maybe the way they split into two groups was not super advantage, so they now try and focus all in one group. And if they can just get another good surround. Ooh, oh, so close. They're so slippery to get surrounds. Getting a kill, but getting close enough to that Sovereign's Watch that now they need to retreat. 3 Argents going down. I love to see that when you're an Infernal player. Just weakening that early army for Celestial, which can ramp up pretty quick with the macro of Celestials, and slowing down their creeping. So knowing that those Argents are not on the map, Wallace can come down here and scoop this speed camp. And again, early on when you do these speed camps, they're really a pain in the butt, but with just a few extra units, you have enough DPS that they kind of become squishy and you can handle them. I love the micro of sending some fiends. They're probably microed back to keep them alive, but they also... Ooh, thanks, Wars. They also do a good job of scouting to see, hey, are those Argents going to come put pressure on me? But it looks like it's the other way around. Wallace wants to do pressure, but no, seeing that there are 6 Argents there now, thinking, I don't know if I want to fight into that. 6 Argents, and they were all powered up, so yeah, yucky. That will melt those brutes in the first couple shots, and then they're hoping those fiends are doing the damage, but probably not. All right, creeping down the vision and then returning to this camp. Has this camp not been creeped yet? It's still on level 1, so this is another consequence of the new meta, which again I kind of think is good. This is definitely a good change. Is that if you can get onto the opponent's side of the map and steal their camps, like we saw Wallace doing, and your opponent is not as got as much map presence as you can get back to your own camp and still creep it without being stolen from you. And those healing camps are just not quite as necessary early on as they are maybe later, and maybe they're just not quite as necessary uh, as the speed camps seem to be. The speed boost just seems so advantageous. Interesting. Okay, one. See, now this is what you do. This is what I've been talking about. You send one unit to take the camp. They don't know how big your units are. They don't know where your units are. But unfortunately for you, he wishes his units were back on the other side of the map defending. The Sovereign's Watch doing a good job. Interesting choice to put it on that creation chamber there. Not sure what governed that. And just a small number of Argents, yeah, pushing back this force. And I think Wallace just saying, I'm going to make a bunch of Fiends and see if I can scoop those guys up. Or maybe take out this creation chamber, Fiends with that crazy DPS, sort of like Zerglings, doing a lot of DPS, taking out the creation chamber and just zipping right out of there. This one poor Gaunt being like, oh no, I died. Why did I go so far in? Okay. Wallace getting that little harass damage. Ooh, I like that. Sending the single Fiend in to aggro those units and then bring them out of the woods so that his brutes can engage on them too. And yeah, oh, nice micro on the Fiends too. Wow, Wallace. I wish I could click a Fiend that's getting focused by the Bruiser and pull him away in time. Really cool. Okay, some Gaunts, Scout Gaunts I'll call them, up on the top there. Seeing that there are a bunch of Argents, and the Argents chasing everyone home. Buzz off, get back home, but the Fiend's coming out saying, let's do this. Or maybe not. They were just trying to posture and taunt a little bit. Getting in the speed juices. Ooh, making some more Fiends, and now they're heading out. Oh, if they can get a good surround. Oh, wow, some really nice control. And wow, okay. So I like this, a preemptive Purify going down, because often when you get a surround like this, you're going to want to drop a Nightfall infestation. Also the infest from the Gaunts, and actually that worked out really well for you. Instead of losing all those Argents, the Purify, I think, really helped turn the tide there. Not to mention the Saber coming in at the last minute. Clutch Saber coming in to do a little extra splash damage on those units. But Wallace isn't exactly broken. Having lost those units was not great, but not terrible. There was a lot of Fiends that actually came from a lot of Brutes, so there was investment there. They weren't free units. And those Gaunts, I think, standing not on the Shroud. It's hard to tell. But you want them on the Shroud to get the benefit from the infest, of course. The Plague Axes, I should say. Third base going down here. Now, what is the econ of you looking like? So this base is up with one prism, that with two prisms. So looking like maybe... Oh, we have another one here. So that's 4, that's 2, maybe almost 3 bases. With this, we'll probably be up to 3. Equivalent of 3, I say, because counting the Celestials econ is always hard. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 collection arrays, but each collection array is only worth half of a fully saturated base for the Vanguard or the Infernals. So it can be a little bit hard to track the economy of your opponent when you're facing a Celestial, which is one of the advantages of being a Celestial. You can hide those collection arrays all over the place. You can fly prisms to any mine and just mine without having to have a arc ship there. So lots of advantages in the Celestial macro, which I think still hasn't been fully exploited by Celestial players, except at the very top of the ladder, where you see some of these Celestial players being able to put, basically doing a proxy rush while expanding. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, both armies just staying on their side for now. Although we see you adding sabers here, and that Argent Ball is pretty strong when it's powered up, at least. And go for a speed camp. Do we have any other tech going on? Okay, so we do have a Surge Starforge pumping out those. So there's second and third, so we're just massing sabers, it looks like. And now our Ascension Matrix going down, maybe to add some other units. Ooh, nice scanner use here. I haven't seen as much scanner use in the most recent patch since they got nerfed. It's weird saying a scanner got nerfed, like it doesn't even do damage or anything, but it just cannot capture camps while invisible anymore, and that made its utility less, so not getting killed is quite as often. Wallace having to turn back because these Argents have actually pushed up the ramp here and took out that shrine, and that's what I'm talking about. The powered up Argents, they were sitting there under that Purify Ray as well, so they just stayed powered up. Lots of damage, very easy to focus down a shrine like that and just get out of there. They're not super speedy, but if your army's caught out of position, you can snipe a shrine and get out. And there, okay, see, again, on this map especially, I see this a lot. Hanging out in the speed cap. You get that speed boost, you just love that speed boost, and you want to soak in it, and when you lose it, you want to get it as soon as possible. But trying to flank in on those sabers, but the slavers using their acceleration to get out. But two megs trying to get in there, getting focused down, and unfortunately, the gaunt count is just too low here, and Wallace is, yeah, his army's going to get cleaned up. There's just far too many sabers here. That was not the kind of force that can deal with sabers en masse like this. And yeah, just a few gaunts returning home safely. I didn't realize that until just now, that you can soak in the speed juices on the high ground, which kind of makes sense. You can do that with healing camps. These mags trying to get a pretty good engage, but no, just melted by sabers, and that's a GG. And here we are in game 2 of this best of 3 between Wallace here in the Blue Infernal and, oh, where's that arc ship? Here we are, you in the Red Celestial. That's right, you are playing this game and you are loved. We love you. You is a great player. Oh, that one didn't work. You are a great player. And yeah, so you here with a arc ship just on patrol. I like that. Zipping back and forth, trying to catch anyone sneaking through that choke. No, probably just something you do to kill time in the early game when you don't got a lot to do, a lot to micro. Trying to keep your APM up, trying to give your units command. See, he was patrolling and said, nope, I see there's a Hexen in my base, and now I need to focus. Summon that power bank. We now have that collection array, and now if he can get that Sovereign's Watch, yeah, maybe melt that Hexen. Melt it, melt it, melt it. You were too close. That's what you get, Hexen. Oh, wow, I kind of like that. Even though I am an Infernal player, I don't usually like seeing my Hexens melted. That was just an overextension of the Hexen. You should anticipate that that Sovereign's Watch is going to come down. And now that's just given a little mini lead to you because no Hexen to creep with. It's going to slow down Wallace. And you, well, slowed down a little bit, not able to creep all the creeps that you can with the Sovereign's Watch. But that's because the Sovereign's Watch melted a Hexen. Who doesn't like that? Little farm going down here for Wallace. Also shrine here. Looks like what we had here was a vault shrine opening. Oh, pardon me. And that poor sad brute had to run away and go eat a cabbage, it looked like, because he had no Hexen to help him creep, and so only managed to get one of those slimes down before going down. And now, okay, so being split. And okay, so I guess we learned a lesson here. 2 brutes can creep this pretty okay, but a single one needs to go eat a cabbage in between. Hexen coming out. Hexen, sorry, Argents. My brain was thinking about that Hexen that got lost. And the Argents move out here. They're going to creep the vision camp, and what we're seeing here is actually you starting to get a little bit of an advantage. Didn't claim the cramp. That's unfortunate. But you is just a little bit ahead in the creeping, and that is not something you normally see from a Celestial over at Infernal. And again, that's just what you get for losing that Hexen. Unfortunately, slowed down Wallace enough that you might be able to take this into an advantage. Prism over here trying to get some Therium. No Purifier or anything up yet, but the Archship is moving over there to try and make that mining a little more efficient. Argent's taking out this scout farm, or whatever you might want to call it. And again, I like this too. Focusing the farm, not focusing energy on those hogs. All 3 hogs die as soon as the farm goes out. If you have enough units to focus the farm and you're not going to take too much DPS from them, focus the farm. Argent, are you going to do some pressure here? This Argent's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Actually, I think I do know what he's doing. Again, great use by you. Go take this energy camp. Yeah. Okay, so while this push, lots of Argent energy right now. Microing some of the weak ones back, trying to focus down these brutes. Of course, getting bonus damage to brutes. Again, another good micro. This is just really, this is how you want to play if you're doing this type of Argent push. Get those weak ones in the back. If you have your Archship with you, let them heal them up. I think they're full retreat, it looks like. Not sure why. There was some pretty good pressure there, and they had good traction. But maybe just too much out of Wallace. And again, when you got a little bit of lead, maybe what you's thinking here is, I'm kind of ahead. I could throw it all away if I march up this ramp and lose all my Argents in a bad engage. So why don't I instead keep building up my Econ? Look at this. Sending these Argents back, getting them healed up under that Archship, meaning that their efficiency, their cost effectiveness is going way up. And again, I like the control out of you. You showing, just to kind of control that you need, sending some units back to get healed while the other units are headed out to take out this creep camp, and then also having those healed units reinforce and rejoin up. All of that control, things that I would probably do all in one control group, march my whole army to heal up, and then that would delay my creeping. So again, good control. Okay, we've now, sabers. So maybe not surprising that Yu's going to go for that same strategy and composition that was so useful last game. Devastating actually to Wallace. All those sabers just melting his units. And Wallace gonna go out and creep the Therium camp over here. Still looking like staying largely on tier 1. And more tier 1. And yeah, okay, here we go. Twilight Spires, which will be helpful against those sabers. So that's the tech switch we need. We also have Soulforge Ascendants on the way, which is the brute upgrade, giving them, letting them spawn 3 fiends, and the bonus armor, of course, is also very helpful. And now we have another Argent Strike Force, and it sniping a conclave and saying, "I'm out of here." Not all the units, just a more mobile force. And by the time the army of Wallace gets back, it's like there's no one here. Puts down another conclave, of course, to replace. But also maybe takes the reminder, you need more production. I always forget to put down extra production, and so maybe takes that as a reminder to say, hey, while I'm putting down 1, why not put down a couple more? Although we haven't really got a third out of Wallace yet, and this is a very awkwardly placed one. It's far away from both. I don't know if I like that. And now these Argents are pushing forward. I think the lead that you was able to get at the beginning, remember, from just getting that Hexen, is all that lead came from with the Sovereign's Watch, has turned into a supply lead of about 20. And ooh, okay, that's a nice Nightfall, but also a nice Purify. The Hellborn got focused down, although another one comes to reinforce. And now these Sabers and Argents just in a tight little ball, able to focus these units. Nice micro on the Argents to keep the weak ones alive again. Wow, and that Hellborn hopefully trying to take out some of the weak one, but doesn't want to get caught behind where it can be focused down. Nice effigy to get some infest on those Argents, and since they're weak, they're deciding let's retreat. Still a really good engage from you. Getting some of that damage that he wants and whittling down the army for Wallace. Wallace now wisely adding Weavers to deal with the Sabers. And more Sabers. It's just looks like it's going to be Saber Argent so far. More upgrades. We got an Ascension Matrix coming down. More Star Forges being added. So yeah, it looks like we might be sticking to with Argent Saber. This base is up. We got a couple imps mining from it now. And wow, base. I hear you like bases. Do you like lots of bases? So you is really taking the sort of Artosis lesson to heart. When you're ahead, get more ahead. You had that great engage here at the vision counter or vision tower, which again makes it a little bit more ahead. So why not get the macro back up, retreat, get those units upgraded, come back out again, see if you can get another good engage. And at the moment, he's just sitting back, having re-cleared the health camp and soaking back up in that health. And again, these Argents all almost at full power. Nice Saber line here. I was going to call it a ball, but it's a line. It's a conga line right now. Of course, you never really want to move your units around in a big old conga line like this, but this is sometimes how it works. Ooh, we got a conga line of Argents too. And yeah, if you are going to push in, yeah, ball them up first, ball them up. That's just going to help you get more attacks happening at once, right? And also less focus fire on that lead Argent. Moving up, kind of just good timing here. Again, moving up, Purify trying to snipe the Shrine, manages to get it before turning on the army. The Weavers managing to lash one Saber. But you deciding to just stay and fight here. Enough Argents in the front to kind of tank while those Sabers in the back doing some sick damage. But they decided let's accelerate out of here. Particle Accelerator, I think that's called, something like that. They zip their way, Mass Accelerator, sorry. They zip their way out of here with their speed boost. More reinforcing Argents showing up and turning to fight again. Having pulled those Infernal units off the Shroud, a little bit out of position with no reinforcements or a long reinforcement distance. The Sabers in the back melting some Gaunts. That line attack here. When it strikes sort of horizontally in a perpendicular line. You can see that. Everything in that blast radius takes damage. And it's great for mowing down concaves like that. The reinforcing units, a couple Hellborn, ooh, you don't like to see that. You'd think with 6 legs they could scuttle a little faster. Scuttle, my babies, come on. No, they don't. Melted by these Sabers. So, Sabers really useful. Oh no! Oh no! That's definitely a misclick there. Or perhaps a misbehaving Saber that needed to be punished. Yeah, I get that sometimes too. You misclick. You're trying to attack move your units, which is usually the better way to move your units. Move commanding often not being what you want. But if you misclick and attack move and click a critter or click one of your units or click your shrine or something, all of a sudden all your units are attacking someone you don't want them to. Attacking critters aren't so bad, of course, unless you're in battle. You're stutter stepping your exos around and you accidentally focus fire on one of the critters, you've just wasted a whole volley. Well, that base for Wallace went down and the push has continued, and it's unfortunately looking like there's not going to be a lot from Wallace left to fight this. If this continues down, this one Weaver's trying to get back on the high ground. We do have some Hellborn, but really needing some Brutes and Gaunts to fill out that army to try and tank some of this damage. And even Brutes and Gaunts, unfortunately, are not great against the Sabers. More Spriggans could be helpful, but the Argents are dealing with them. A couple scythes up top as well. So Weavers trying to do their best. They're tanky for sure, but that's a G out of Wallace and a GG from you.